I talked about, that customer acquisition is the name of the game. And, if you were to speak to Michael Masterson and ask him, and say, because I've asked him these type of questions before, if you were to ask him, what's been the main reason why you guys have been so insanely successful at Agora? It's like a $400 million a year company. They've got, what they call, franchises or divisions of Agora that do $100 million, selling mainly newsletters. And the big thing that you would hear from Michael Masterson is that they focus their best people on the front end. They focus on customer acquisition. You see, the big back end lie that I bought into when I first got online, and actually for many years, to be completely transparent with you, is this idea that, everybody talks about the money is in the back end, right? The money is in the back end, the money is in the back end, the money is in the back end. And the truth is that the profit in a business is in the back end. The profit is in the back end because customer acquisition can be expensive, right? There's a cost associated with acquiring a new customer. Once you've acquired that customer, to make a second sale and a third sale and a fourth sale, if you've delivered stellar value and a great product and a great experience, you don't have those costs associated. In many cases, you don't have any costs. If you do some offline stuff like we do, there's some costs, but the most expensive activity within a business is customer acquisition. But I'll tell you that when and this is the key right here. This is what I want you to get. I want you to write this down. I want you to highlight it, circle it, do whatever you got to do. Make sure you put this down on paper. That yes, the profit is in the back end, but the most important part of your business is the front end, is the customer acquisition. The consistency, the reliability, the stability in your business comes from the front end. You see, let me illustrate this point very quickly for you. If because there was a time where I took my eye off of the front end, and I thought, all right, we've got this front end, cool, let's, this front end, acquiring some customers, everybody says the money is in the back end, the money is in the back end, so let me start creating product after product after product to sell to our existing customers. Well, in any business, you have attrition. In any business, in every business, you have attrition, right? There's a certain customer life cycle. There's a certain life to every customer. Some customers might stay with you 3 months, some might stay, which is online right now within the IM space. That's the typical life within a membership site, 3 months. But some customers will stay with you 3 months. Some might stay with you 12 months. Some might stay with you 3 years. And if you're, like a legend like Dan Kennedy, you might have a certain percentage that stay with you for years and years on end. But every business has attrition. And what happens is it's like a bucket. If you take your eye off of the front end and focus mainly on the back end, like, if you focus 80% of your time on back end offers, back end products, selling more and more to your existing customers, and you focus less and less of your time on the front end, what happens is over time that customer base shrinks, right? There's shrinkage, there's attrition. And so the back end money that you can extract becomes less and less and less. And eventually, if you don't focus on the front end and you only focus on the back end, eventually your business will dwindle and you'll just see your cash flow shrinking month after month after month after month, because like in every business, that customer base dwindles. And so the key to stability is being able to pump people into the front end. As long as you're able to continue to pump people into your front end, you'll never go out of business. And so ultimately, you want to focus on the front end and never take your eye off of the front end while building out the back end. But if you're just starting out and you don't have an existing funnel in place, if you don't have an existing customer acquisition funnel, a marketing funnel that's working right now, nothing else is your priority. Your number one priority right now is to engineer that customer acquisition marketing funnel. You'll never go out of business if you have the ability to acquire customers, right? You'll never maximize your profit if you only focus on the front end. But if you take your eye off of the front end and focus on the back end, your business will eventually dwindle. Some niches faster than others, some businesses faster than others. The key is to continue to focus on that front end. Continue to make sure that you have a profitable customer acquisition marketing funnel while building out the back end. This is why, again, you talk to Michael Masterson, and he'll tell you that at Agora, their most talented, their best people, their sharpest marketers, their sharpest marketing minds are all working on the front end. They're all working on the front end, and they never stop working on the front end. You know, I was talking to Michael one day about their End of America promotion, I think it was, which was just a gazillion-dollar promotion that they did. And I said to him, like, so you've got this winning front end for Stansberry Research, one of the divisions at Agora. I said, and so when do you guys now start to work on your next funnel? Like, when do you work on the next process? He said to me, we never stop working on the next funnel. We never stop working on the next customer acquisition funnel. We're always working on those, because just like every business has attrition and has a dwindling customer base, every marketing funnel has a lifespan. In some cases, you might have a marketing funnel that works for 6 months, for 7 months, for 8 months. Sometimes, you know, we've had a marketing funnel that's worked for close to 24 months now, where we haven't had to change it. But eventually, every funnel begins to dwindle in its lead value, its front end customer value, its conversion rate. And so you always need to be working on the front end and never take your eye off of the front end. And that's the big lie, is that, you know, the stability in your business comes from the front end, not the back end. Stability, front end, profit, back end. Ultimately, and this is a little bit of an advanced strategy, and then we're going to just move on so we can get into, you know, some of this nitty-gritty stuff here, but you ultimately use the back end to fund the front end, right? You use the back end, you use a percentage of the profit from your back end to continue to fund and grow and scale that front end. When you're able to use your back end to fund the front end, you can scale this thing up so that you're just crushing it in terms of customer acquisition every single day. It just becomes a machine.